Hey guys, what's going on? So in this video today we're going to go over whether or not Marvel Strike Force is free to play. And basically my argument in this video is this game is free to play if you can get this checklist of stuff done before a new character comes out. And so to understand when a new character comes out about every 11 days, between 10 to 11, sometimes 12 days. Basically it's 11. Let's just say it's at 11. If you need another way to think about that, each month we get 3 new characters. There's 30 days in a month, about 10 days, but it's the real math behind it is 11. So let's just say that. So right now we have our window of 11 days to get our character leveled up. And so basically, let's say there's a new great character that comes out and you want to take them up to level 75. You want to get them, basically, I would say gear 12 is free to play friendly, and gear 13 is when you start to eke into where it's not doable in that 10-day period. And my only argument for that is basically the mini uniques that are required in this I guess you could say this left middle spot are sometimes not always accessible, and they're not farmable. So that's where I would say that that's not free to play, because you might have to refresh the store to get those pieces or whatnot. But basically my argument is if you can get a character to level 75, get all their T3s on them, and get them to gear 12 in that 10-day, 11-day window. So let's start off with T3s. Basically, there's an abundance of T3s in this game. I think most people feel this later on in the game. I know earlier on in the game I felt like I couldn't get enough T3s. Now I have an abundance. Let's go find a character real quick. But basically the math, and let's just look at the T3s, and how many T3s I have. But basically the math behind it is, see, look, I have 19,000 T3s. Basically the math behind it is, if you are able to do the ability enhancement challenge at the final tier in that, and the daily challenges, there's the block party challenge, and there's just raiding and stuff. If you can basically get through difficulty 1 of U6 and just get the 30% rewards, you're getting enough T3s. So that's pretty much covered. It's not, I don't think anyone would argue that it's not free to play. Early on, it might feel like you're not getting enough, but eventually you'll have a huge stockpile. So, and when we're talking about characters, we're going to be looking at 3 things mainly, and there's a 4th thing that I want to talk about, but it's not as important. And the 3 things are, again, abilities, gear, and gold. And the gold is used to level them up, basically 1 to 75. Granted, equipping and tiering up characters does cost gold, but in that 10-day span, it's not minuscule, but it's not quite as large as taking a character from level 1 to 75. And I just want to add to the context of all this, you're not going to take every character up to level 75. You're not going to, some characters you're going to take up to tier 10, some characters you're going to take up to tier 11, and some characters you're just going to avoid. But basically, we have our 3 that we're going to go over, which we already went over: abilities, we're going to go over gear, and we're going to go over gold, like levels and stuff. Now I want to talk about stars, basically. The math behind it is, so if you took all of your characters that you had left and you did like a spreadsheet, or you did all the math behind it and basically set a date that this is how many days it would take if you got a 30% drop rate on campaign nodes, if you put in what your average arena drops are, if you put in how many raid credits you're getting. Basically, ranking up characters and getting their stars up is free to play. You're getting that done in a good amount of time. So you would find that out. That's just true. I don't know how to show that to you guys and make it tangible, but basically, yeah, you can get that done. Even if it feels like it's a long haul, it is doable. So that was the 4th one. Like I said, I'm not going to really dive too deep into that. Basically, it's how efficient are you at farming? Are you using your 50 power core refreshes or not? And if you are doing your 50 power core refreshes, you won't get all your characters done in a year, but if you are playing consistently, you will start to catch up on if you're behind and stuff. So let's move on to gold, basically. So in our 11-day window, if we take a character up from level 1 to level 75, it's going to cost 5,600,000 gold. So in that 11-day window, it's about 510,000 gold. I go and try to level up a character in 10 days as opposed to 11. That's what I do. So I try to hit 560, 640. Let me show you guys what that is real quick. That is, I know, and I've talked about this in the past, but basically, if you just make 6 green, and I think it's 417 blue, or 447 blue, that'll be 566.40. You can level up a character in 10 days. Again, you're not going to take every character up to level 75, but I'm just letting you guys know that. When my alliance was only doing 60% in gamma raids, I was getting about a gold orb per day and probably 8 total in a week. I could hit this number. So I do think it is doable. Again, I was doing it basically every day. And as as your alliance keeps growing and stuff, you should hopefully be able to 100% gamma raids. I also want to say that I'm able to do this consistently, and I have 2 million gold left over. God damn it. I have 2 million gold left over right here. I think I have a gold orb, and I haven't even finished the final tier of the gold challenge. I'm working towards that because it is important, but I haven't beat that yet. So I am able to hit that goal. Again, I have spent, I've been playing for 800 some odd days. I think in September I'll be at 900 days. And I've spent less than $15 on this game. So, and what I've spent on isn't like gold orbs. It isn't on anything. It's mostly power cores, and there was like that $5 50 shards of Minerva. That's something that I spent money on too. So basically, I'm able to do this just by having a roster that I've put a lot of time and effort into. So yes, the gold aspect of it is free to play. Next up, finally, I want to talk about gear. And the biggest bottleneck for gear, at least from going from gear 8 to gear 12, is going to be your advanced basic catalyst. So the math behind advanced basic catalyst, I'm going to assume, because it is tangible and it is doable, not that all of you will have this done, but when it comes to this catalyst of change, you should be working towards it. I'm going to assume that you will get that done. I'm also going to assume that you will get this Relic Hunt event done and get to the final tier. So basically this Relic Hunt, again, we're doing 3 characters in a month, right? So 10-day, 11-day window. Basically, you get 3 tries at this, so you're going to get 30 ABCs from that. I have a spreadsheet too to talk about it. So let's talk about ABCs. So I took the average of the 3 new characters. We have X23, Negasonic, and Domino. By the time this is out, there might be more new characters, in game. But basically, let's take X23, Negasonic, Domino. And the average for their ABCs from tier 8 to tier 12 was 299. I will say it's probably on the higher end for ABCs and what it costs, but I just took them just because they were newer characters. I know some characters can take up to 380, something like that, but 300, let's just keep that in mind. Again, it's not perfect, and again, you're not going to level every character up to tier 12. But so with 300 in mind is your goal in that 10-day period. So in that 10-day period, you will probably have run through World Warrior once, so that'll get you, if you're in a good alliance, net you 25 ABCs. If you're doing Save the World, you should get about 25 ABCs in that 10-day window, 11-day window. You have the Hand Catalyst Challenge that happens once a month, and that nets you 30 ABCs for a specific character because you get 3 attempts, which makes it 90. So divide it by 3, you get 30. And then you have your Blaster Challenge, which if you finish that final tier, you will get 72 in that 4-day window. So all that added up does not equal to 300. It equals 152. So that leaves 150 left. So are you getting enough purple raid orbs? Are you buying them in the main supplies? Are you buying them in the raid supplies if you have finished your raid supplies? I would not recommend this, but you can also get them in the war supplies. You can also farm them, and there's also the purple catalyst orb and blitz. So are you able to make up that 150 in those time period? Obviously, there's variation in that stuff. If you go for the purple catalyst orb, you're probably going to open and get ABCs. The purple raid orb, it varies. There's a lot of purple gear. Main supplies and raid supplies, you can buy them. I would probably say go for them in raid supplies if you have all those raid characters done, and not necessarily main supplies because they can be steeper. But can you get enough? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. That's basically where I'm coming from. Again, if you're free to play, I basically recommend to take any ward characters that you use up to tier 10, fill out all the purple gear on there, but leave the purple gear that requires ABCs, and that should leave you an abundance of ABCs for characters that you need to take up higher. But basically, it's variation. It depends on your raid drops. It depends on how many of the purple catalyst orbs are you getting per week. It depends on all of that. So there's not a concrete answer, but you for sure can get at least half of them in that 10-day window if you get to the highest extent that you can get in those things. So when it comes to if Marvel Strike Force is free to play, yes, gold is doable. Yes, T3s are absolutely doable, and then ABCs are the biggest variation. Now, the other gear that's required for characters, like this month we had 3 mutants, so you might be running short on mutant gear or might be tired of farming mutant gear. That's obviously like an issue and stuff. That's just kind of harder to determine based off of purely, you know, looking at your math and stuff. But I think it feels like, for me at least, I can get these characters up with the ABCs that I'm given, but again, I only take up my war characters to tier 10 and leave those ABCs alone in that tier 10 category. So I would probably say ABCs are not free to play friendly. I want them to be free to play friendly because I want all aspects of this game to be free to play friendly. Obviously not end game, but there you have it. So in summarization of what's going on, you are, yes, able to get a character up to level 75. You are able to T3 all their abilities in that 10-day window. You are, again, you're in the long term of it, farming characters is free to play, but ABCs is still that variation, and it's probably not free to play friendly when it comes to that aspect. But again, you're not going to take every character up to tier 12. You're not going to take every character up to tier 11, especially as free to play. It's just not tangible. And over time, they've given us more ABCs, so that is something I'm going to keep track of. But that is going to do it for this video. Let me know where you guys disagree. Let me know if you want me to go in depth on other topics in this game. Let me know if you have any suggestions for videos. I would love to do stuff that, you know, you guys are wanting me to do. And that's going to do it. On this channel, I do guides, I do giveaways, I do news, I do orb openings, I do all sorts of Marvel Strike Force stuff. So make sure to be subscribed, hit the bell button for notifications, leave comments, like this video, share it. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.